You've met him before. The man who calls himself alpha. He walks into a room and fills it with noise, words, gestures, opinions. He says he wants a real woman, but what he really wants is a mirror. One that reflects only his best angles, never his shadows. He mistakes confidence for control, and silence for power. He doesn't listen, he waits for his turn to speak. He calls it leadership, but it's really fear wearing a louder mask. Because deep down, the insecure man is terrified of being ordinary. He measures his worth in how small he can make others feel. He needs admiration to breathe, and domination to feel safe. That isn't strength, it's survival dressed up as swagger. You can feel it when you're near him, your body starts shrinking without knowing why. You censor yourself a little, laugh softer, avoid disagreement. Not because you're weak, but because his ego needs space, and your light makes him nervous. He talks about loyalty, yet can't offer safety. He wants devotion, but fears intimacy. He says he protects you, but what he really protects is his own image. The insecure man lives on a battlefield that no one else can see. Every question feels like a challenge. Every no sounds like rejection. Every silence becomes a threat. His nervous system stays in combat even in love. That's why he loves hard and loses harder. Why he punishes closeness and then begs for it back. He doesn't want partnership, he wants reassurance. And reassurance is never enough. But then, there's the other kind. The one who rarely calls himself alpha because he doesn't need to. He doesn't fill silence with noise. He fills it with presence. He doesn't lead with pressure, he leads with calm. His strength is invisible until you lean on it. When you're with him, you feel something rare, space. Room to breathe, to think, to be messy and still feel chosen. He doesn't demand submission. He earns trust. He doesn't control. He grounds. This is the true alpha, the man who has met his own fear, and no longer needs to project it onto you. He doesn't flinch when you have a strong opinion. He's not threatened by your light, he's drawn to it. Because he's made peace with his own. A true alpha isn't loud, he's certain. His certainty doesn't come from dominance, but from knowing that his worth doesn't depend on being right. He can apologize without losing pride. He can lead without stealing the spotlight. He can hold you not because you're fragile, but because he knows love is a responsibility, not a prize. You won't need to chase his attention, decode his moods, or earn his affection. He's consistent, not because he's boring, but because he's balanced. And balance, in this world of ego battles, feels revolutionary. If these reflections are touching something real for you, don't forget to like and subscribe so more hearts can find the difference between fear and strength. It's easy to confuse the two, because at first glance, both can look powerful. Both stand tall, speak with certainty, and carry presence. But if you listen closely, one speaks from peace, and the other from the need to dominate. The insecure man needs a stage. The true alpha carries stillness. You can tell the difference in small, quiet moments. When you disagree, the insecure one argues to win. The true alpha listens to understand. When you need space, the insecure one panics. The true alpha gives you air, because he trusts the bond won't break. When you cry, the insecure one looks away, uncomfortable with emotions he can't fix. The true alpha stays, even in silence. When you succeed, the insecure one competes. The true alpha celebrates you, because your shine doesn't threaten his. One seeks control. The other offers safety. And that safety is what makes love grow instead of shrink. We confuse them, because the world has taught us to mistake noise for power. To believe that confidence must be loud, and that sensitivity is weakness. But real power doesn't need performance. It shows up quietly through patience, consistency, and empathy. The insecure man performs dominance because he's afraid to be unseen. He learned early that only the loud survive. So he builds his identity out of control, out of achievements, out of I'm the man. The true alpha once believed the same until life humbled him. He lost, he hurt, he listened, and somewhere in that quiet, he found himself. Now, he doesn't need to prove anything. He leads by example, not by demand. He can say, "I was wrong," and mean it. He doesn't measure love in submission, but in mutual peace. The insecure man says, "Follow me." The true alpha says, "Walk with me." And you, listening now, maybe you've loved both. Maybe one made your heart race, and the other made your heart rest. That's the difference. Excitement can be addictive, but peace is what lasts. Sometimes we mistake chaos for chemistry, because our nervous system remembers unpredictability as love. It's not your fault. You were simply taught that intensity equals importance. But healthy love feels different. It's not constant fireworks, it's steady warmth. It doesn't leave you guessing, it leaves you growing. When you meet a true alpha, your body will know before your mind does. You'll feel your shoulders drop. You'll speak more freely. You'll laugh without checking if it's too much. That's how you know you're safe. When you've been around the insecure man long enough, you start to believe that love must always feel like tension, like proving, explaining, or shrinking just to keep the peace. But that's not love, that's survival wearing a romantic mask. True love feels steady. It doesn't test your worth every morning. It doesn't punish you for feeling deeply. It holds you even when you're messy and whispers, "You're still safe here." We don't stay because we enjoy the struggle. We stay because something in us hopes that if we love deeply enough, the fear will fade, that our softness can heal what's broken. We stay because we see his potential and confuse it with reality. We remember the first version of him, the charming one, the passionate one, and think, maybe that man will return. But hope alone can't fix what refuses to grow. You can hold space for someone's pain, but you cannot carry it for them. Sometimes, healing means learning to stand still while the storm around you tries to pull you back in. You learn that love isn't proven by endurance, it's measured by peace. Then one day, something inside shifts. You stop craving fireworks. You start craving calm. You stop apologizing for your needs. You start protecting them. And when a true alpha enters your life, you feel the difference instantly. He doesn't need to convince you, his presence does. He challenges you, yes, but never breaks your spirit. He leads, but he also listens. He makes space for your emotions without turning them into a burden. You notice his quiet power, how he pauses before reacting, how he speaks truth without humiliation, how he never makes you compete for tenderness. The insecure man fights to be right. The true alpha strives to be authentic. And that difference turns love from exhaustion into nourishment. The world needs men like that, men who understand that gentleness isn't weakness, it's maturity. That control isn't love, it's fear trying to look powerful. And women who understand that receiving calm love isn't settling, it's finally coming home. Because strength and softness aren't enemies, they're a balance. The heart was never meant to rule by force. It was meant to guide with grace. If you've known the wrong kind of love, don't shame yourself for it. Your heart was only trying to learn safety in a language it never heard before. You can start again, choosing presence over pressure, consistency over charm, depth over drama. Because true power isn't about who leads, it's about who creates safety. And the man who can stay soft inside his strength, that's the one who never needs to prove it. Maybe one day you'll meet him, the man whose silence doesn't punish, whose eyes don't compete, whose calm feels like coming home. And when you do, you'll recognize him instantly, because your body will relax before your mind does. That's how peace introduces itself. That's how love is meant to feel. Thank you for being here with me. Take care of your heart, and may love always guide your path.